We are back on the happy hour. Greg Papa, Kelly Johnson, Ray Ratto. We joined you. It's a Thursday. That means Steve Moskowitz, our legal expert.
My favorite day.
It is our favorite day of the week, as well as you are here, and we get to talk to you on TV. We got a lot going on. We want to get your thoughts on the preliminary hearing involving Reuben Foster. But the big news, maybe in all of the sports world today, came down on Monday. On Monday was the Supreme Court's ruling by 6-3 to strike back at the 1992 federal law that effectively banned sports betting in most states. So now each individual state is allowed to do as they please. Give me your thoughts on the court's ruling, and how do you think Congress now will jump into this situation?
Not that the Supreme Court called me for advice. Not yet.
Yeah.
But I think it was a good decision. It was time coming. And, you know, when you make things illegal, you push people into doing things that are technically illegal. The time has come for this. And to be smart, this way it can be regulated. It can be, my favorite part, taxed. And it'll be much better, and you'll have less problems of people trying to pull stunts when you have some illegal gamblers going around. And also what they did is they spoke to states' rights, because that's always a question between different political people. Should things be federal? Should it be state rights? Theoretically, when our country was formed, the idea was the federal government was only supposed to be in charge of the big things like the Army, and the states had the rights, and you can really have different laws in one state or another. Look at marijuana, where in one state it's recreational, another state they'll put you in prison for years. So that's what the Supreme Court came down on, states' rights, and I'm all for it. And I like to see commerce, I like to see industry, and a lot of the states are already gearing up to go ahead and push casinos and put their hand out for their share of the take.
Well, didn't the ruling, I mean, as an intermediate step to what you're saying is, didn't they say that Congress can't pass a law that covers all 50 states, but
Sure.
there can't be any exceptions to it? Because the problem with PASPA was that they grandfathered Nevada and a couple of state lottery states, Oregon and Montana, I think. And that was my understanding of their objection to it. And the opinions came out strongly in favor of the state should be doing this. But the leagues seem to indicate that they want an omnibus bill pushed through Congress that covers all 50 states entirely. Am I wrong in that?
The reason the leagues want that, they want their share of the pie, because if you have a situation where the league goes in and says, okay, where's my share? And the state says, none for you. Then what are you going to do about it? You could move, but that's not that easy. And then you also have a situation, on the other hand, where will some state offer you a better deal? For example, would you be able to go online and say, well, you know, state X would give me a better payout than state Y? Will the states be competing with each other? Or will they all get together and say, look, we're an exception to antitrust things, and we can go ahead and say it'll be an even payout, whatever state? Or if the feds came in, then you wouldn't have that jockeying back and forth. And I know in other areas of law, different jurisdictions really do fight for each other to go ahead and get certain type of business.
Given the fact that the Supreme Court struck down this federal law and is now allowing gambling in the states to determine how they're going to regulate that, the fact that the NFL now wants Congress to basically create a law for all 50 states that will regulate and also possibly give them that integrity fee that they're searching out.
I like that integrity fee.
Yeah, why would
that's
Congress want to step over what was already determined by the U.S. Supreme Court?
Because Congress, in their infinite wisdom, can make the laws, and the courts determine whether they're lawful or not, or constitutional. And again, what I see is an awful lot of backroom dealing, where there's going to be a lot of people interested in the league, talking to a lot of Congress people, explaining to them why it's best for everybody to do what they want. And like so many other things, it always comes down to that back door. So oftentimes comes into that back door, that backroom deal.
So how soon will the states possibly legalize gambling? Could it happen in the fall?
As soon as they can. California's already working on it.
I was going to say, so where's California's time frame for this?
As soon as they can, because this is a gigantic cash cow.
Real quickly, we just got a minute to go. Just your thoughts on Reuben Foster. We talked to Matt Mayoko earlier.
You know, technically, the victim is the state of California, but here you have a woman who's recanted. She said she's done it before. She wanted money, wanted to ruin them. So here you'll have a situation where if the prosecution decides to go forward, or if the court allows it, you oftentimes have the original alleged victim being a defense witness, and those are much tougher cases to prove. On the other hand, the government can always say, well, look, she's being paid off or she's being threatened. But again, you have somebody, you have in any other area of law, this case will be thrown out. But here, there's all kinds of sensitivity. So what I'm interested in, assuming that he walks scot-free, will the commissioner say, even though the accuser said, you never touch me. We're going to punish you anyway. That's the one I'm really looking for.
Now, reasonable doubt with this judge, when you have a victim that now has changed her story multiple times and can't even recall exactly details of what happened with the fight with the other woman and where it took place and when. It seems like this is an easy throw it out the window type case for a judge.
In most cases it is. I think that's what should be done. But again, I'm just so concerned with a commissioner that goes overboard, doesn't concern himself with evidence, and decides you've been accused, therefore you're going to be punished. So that's the one I'm really looking to. The court, I think he's going to be fine. But I'm worried about, suspensions that I think are really unjustified under these facts and circumstances.
It is kind of a fishy story, though. It's very convenient, all this stuff coming out. So, Steve Moskowitz, we appreciate
Always a
your time.
pleasure.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
clearing
I'm
all
looking
that up.
forward to it. Double treat.
All right, coming up next on the happy hour, a lot more to get to, including Brendan Belt. We teased it before. We are going to talk about Brendan
Drug addicts and brain.
Why he's so hot. That's
I need a
next.
court of law to help them out.
Let me know.